Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher. Welcome to Sweetwater's Guitars and Gear. This time out, 2 new pedals from Boss just announced at the Winter NAMM show. Let's check them out. The 2 pedals I have in front of me are special edition pedals from Boss. This means that they've gone back and looked at the lineage of the pedals that they're based on, but they brought them into the 21st century, used the technology that we have available today, for example Roland's MDP, which is their multi-dimensional processing technology, to really bring these pedals up to date and give them great tone. The 2 pedals we have are the OD-1X Overdrive and the DS-1X Distortion. We'll begin with the OD-1X Overdrive. Now this is built upon the legacy of the original OD-1 analog overdrive from 1978, but it's a special edition that features some nice differences. For example, we've got different metal knobs than were on the original Boss pedals, we've got a metal faceplate, and they've returned to a metal screw that holds the battery cover foot switch cover down. Let's listen to what this pedal can do. It has a really organic tone to it with a lot of sustain, yet it's not compressed. It's a nice dynamic sounding pedal. We'll begin with the gain set to about 25%. We'll set the bass and the treble controls to 50%, and we'll leave the output at 50% as well. I'll be playing a Gibson Custom 1959 reissue Les Paul Standard through a Rivera Venus 3 amplifier. Let's listen to our dry tone with the pedal bypassed. So we've got a clean tone there, a fairly neutral tone, just on the edge of breaking up. Now we'll engage the pedal. At this gain setting, when I hit the guitar hard with my pick, I get a nice crunchy tone that's fat with a lot of sustain. As I back off with my touch, the sound cleans up. This lets us be really dynamic with our lead lines as well. That's a really nice touch to this pedal. It responds very much the way an amplifier would. Now let's turn the gain up to 50%. A little bit fuller sound, more distortion to it, but we're still not into fuzz territory at all. We're still definitely in that overdrive territory, and we still have all that touch sensitivity. As we increase the gain, the sound gets even fatter and we add more sustain. Now we'll bring the gain all the way up. We still have that touch sensitivity. That's a really fat singing tone that isn't fuzzy. It still sounds very natural, very organic sounding pedal. Now we'll move to the DS-1X Distortion. This is based on the original DS-1, which was introduced in 1979 by Boss. Now this is a distortion pedal, so it has a different sound than the Overdrive, but I think you'll find that it still has that organic touch, that organic feel and tone to it. We'll begin with the distortion set to about 25%. At 25% gain, we've got a tone that's almost in that overdrive range. It's not overly fuzzy, not overly distorted, but it sings nicely, and it really jumps out of the speaker with that grainy mid-range that you expect from a distortion pedal. Now we'll go to 50% gain. We have tons and tons of sustain at this setting. Not a lot of fuzz on top, but it's a heavily distorted sound that compresses nicely, yet still has dynamics and responds to your touch well. Now we'll turn up to 75% gain. We're getting into that higher gain territory now, but there's still nice definition and articulation. When you're playing chords, you can still hear all the notes speak clearly. Now we'll turn the gain all the way up. At this setting, we've got a ton of gain from the pedal, and it's a really fluid, liquid feel coming out of the guitar. Responds really well to your left-hand touch, yet it's still dynamic with your right hand and what you're doing with your pick attack. Both pedals feature low and high EQ bands, so you can tailor the tone to exactly what you want. But the nice thing about them is, as you crank the high end, it doesn't get shrill, it doesn't get harsh. It keeps that smooth tone that, again, is very responsive to your touch. Let me turn up the treble and show you what I mean. We've still got the gain wide open. If we bring up the high frequencies, and we can roll those frequencies back to get an even smoother sound. So you have a lot of power there for shaping the sound exactly the way you want it. I hope you've enjoyed this first look at the OD-1X and the DS-1X. They build on the lineage of the OD-1 and the DS-1, sound great, have all the articulation and touch that you want, really nice pedals. I highly recommend that you check them out. Thanks for joining me for Sweetwater's Guitars and Gear. Be sure to tune in next time. We'll have more guitars, more amps, more effects, and we'll be making lots of music. I'm Mitch Gallagher.